Europe has long been a dream destination for many. The mix of history, modern cities, job opportunities, and high living standards has drawn millions of immigrants looking for a better life. But in 2025, the doors are slamming shut. Economic pressures, rising unemployment, security concerns, and political shifts are leading to some of the strictest immigration policies ever seen. For some countries, it's about protecting local jobs. For others, it's about housing shortages and economic stability. And for a few, it's a direct response to social tensions and security fears. Today, we're diving into which European nations are locking their borders, why they're doing it, and what it means for those hoping to move to Europe. The UK's strictest immigration crackdown yet. The United Kingdom has introduced some of the toughest restrictions on immigrants. After years of heated debate, 2025 marks a turning point. Work visas are harder to get, family reunifications have been drastically cut, and asylum applications are facing record high rejection rates. Economic struggles are a major reason. Inflation is rising, and job availability is shrinking. The government argues that British citizens must be prioritized in the workforce. On top of that, the country has intensified background checks, increased deportations, and cracked down on illegal immigration. Housing prices in major cities like London, Manchester, and Birmingham have surged, leaving little room for new arrivals. Even skilled workers are facing new hurdles. The salary threshold for work visas has been raised, and companies must now prove that hiring a non-UK citizen is absolutely necessary. These policies signal a permanent shift from the UK's once open-door immigration stance. France's harder line on immigration. France has long been at the center of European immigration debates. But 2025 is seeing a stricter approach than ever before. With unemployment creeping up and public dissatisfaction rising, the government has tightened visa approvals, cut work permits, and increased border security. One of the biggest drivers behind these new policies is France's struggling job market. With more people unemployed, there's been growing pressure to keep jobs for locals. Additionally, security concerns have fueled stricter background checks and more aggressive border control. Rising living costs in cities like Paris have also been a major factor. Rent prices have skyrocketed, making it increasingly difficult for both citizens and immigrants to find affordable housing. Even students and skilled professionals are facing new challenges. The government has introduced tougher financial requirements for student visas, making France a less attractive option for international students. Germany's doors are closing fast. Germany, once one of Europe's most welcoming countries, has made a dramatic shift. In 2025, the government has imposed some of the strictest immigration policies in recent history. Work visas are harder to obtain, asylum approvals have plummeted, and deportations have increased. The main reason? Economic concerns. With unemployment rising, Germany is focusing on keeping jobs for its citizens. Many companies now have to prove that no German worker is available before hiring a foreign employee. Housing shortages in major cities like Berlin and Munich are also a major factor. Rent prices have skyrocketed, making it even harder for new arrivals to settle. Even highly skilled professionals, once actively recruited, are facing new barriers. Germany is now prioritizing EU citizens over applicants from outside Europe, making it far more difficult for non-Europeans to move there. Italy's hard stance on immigration. Italy is taking one of the hardest stances on immigration in 2025. The government has significantly tightened border controls and slashed the number of asylum seekers allowed into the country. Struggling with an ongoing debt crisis and slow economic growth, Italy has decided to prioritize its citizens. Young Italians are facing high unemployment, adding fuel to the argument that the country cannot support more migrants. The refugee crisis has also contributed to these restrictions. With instability continuing in parts of Africa and the Middle East, Italy has strengthened naval patrols and tightened visa approvals to limit arrivals. Housing shortages in cities like Rome and Milan have also played a role. Rent prices have surged, making affordability a serious concern. Even sectors that once depended on migrant labor, like agriculture and construction, are now seeing restrictions. Many foreign workers are finding it harder to renew work permits or apply for long-term residency. Finland and Sweden, from open to restrictive. Finland and Sweden were once among the most welcoming countries for immigrants. But 2025 has brought a complete turnaround. Finland has drastically tightened border controls, citing economic strain and housing shortages. The government argues that prioritizing its citizens is necessary, leading to major cuts in asylum applications and work visas. Security concerns have also influenced Finland's decision. With rising tensions in Eastern Europe, the country has ramped up deportations of undocumented migrants. Even skilled workers and students are finding it more difficult to obtain residency. Sweden, meanwhile, has made some of the most dramatic reversals in immigration policy. The number of asylum seekers granted entry has plummeted by nearly 70% compared to last year. Rising crime concerns, economic difficulties, and social tensions have led to much stricter immigration rules. The government has introduced longer processing times, tougher background checks, and more selective work permits. Belgium, Austria, Denmark, and the Netherlands follow suit. Belgium, Austria, Denmark, and the Netherlands have all imposed tougher immigration laws. Belgium has limited asylum applications, citing housing shortages and rising rental costs. Officials argue that reducing immigration is necessary to ease pressure on public services. Security concerns have also led to stricter border control measures. Austria, struggling with inflation and a growing unemployment rate, has reinforced border controls and intensified deportations. Residency applications now require advanced German language proficiency, making immigration even harder. Denmark has introduced some of the toughest cultural and language requirements in Europe. Immigrants must now pass strict exams before gaining permanent residency. The country has also reduced the number of work permits issued, making it one of the least accessible European nations for migrants in 2025. The Netherlands, once a hub for international talent, has also closed its doors significantly. Housing shortages and healthcare system struggles have led to major restrictions. Companies are now forced to prioritize hiring Dutch workers, and student visa requirements have become more stringent. The future of immigration in Europe. The landscape of immigration in Europe is changing faster than ever. Economic struggles, political pressure, and security concerns are pushing countries to close their borders. For those hoping to move to Europe, 2025 is proving to be a challenging year. Work permits, student visas, and asylum applications are facing record rejection rates. Even those with legal status are struggling with new financial and language requirements. The question remains, will these policies be temporary, or is Europe shifting toward a more closed-off future? Let us know what you think in the comments. Are these changes justified, or is Europe shutting its doors too tightly? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates on global policies and immigration trends. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.